You're listening to The Whole Truth, a Resources Rising Stars podcast.
Hello and welcome back to The Whole Truth podcast. I'm Paul Armstrong. This week's episode takes us to Tasmania, where we look at the adventures of a $12 million gold explorer by the name of Flynn Gold. Flynn is on the cusp of greatness. The company has found what looks like it could be a major gold discovery at its Golden Ridge project in Tasmania. They've been ploughing away here in Tasmania for some time, but the market's starting to sense that they could be onto something really special here. The stock's just starting to edge up, but as I mentioned, still only worth $12 million, so abundance of leverage to be had here. The results that are coming from a new area called Grenadier. They've done soil sampling, they've certainly got some gold, and they've taken a bulk sample. At the time of recording this episode, with the Managing Director, Neil Marston, we were waiting for the assays on that bulk sample. Now, at the time you listen to this episode, they may well have been released on the platform. If the results are as good, which is obviously what Neil is hoping for, they will provide more proof of concept that Grenadier is a substantial discovery. Grenadier sits within the wider Golden Ridge project, and the plan here is to develop a hub and spoke model. There's already an exploration target in the order of 500,000 ounces, so there's plenty of reason to believe there could be more gold to be found here. And just finally, there is also a strongly held view that this area is the extension of the rich Victorian goldfields that host the $1.5 billion Southern Cross success story that I'm sure many investors have been watching closely. We talked to Neil about why Grenadier looks so promising and what's going to happen next. Neil, you've been plugging away in Tasmania for some time now and getting some decent results, but in the last few weeks I sensed that the market is starting to wake up to the Flynn story. Certainly the share price is starting to sort of wiggle ahead. It's not, I wouldn't say it's taking off like a Saturn rocket, but it's definitely showing those signs that people in the market are getting developing appetite for this story and what you may have. Now, the hook here that we want to talk about first and foremost today is this Grenadier discovery. What is Grenadier and why is the market starting to get so interested in Flynn Gold on the back of it?
Well, Grenadier is about 6 kilometres west of our TRFalga deposit within the Golden Ridge project. And it was located in the last 12 months or so by soil sampling. We've gone in and basically followed up on a big gold soil anomaly, which is similar in scale to TRFalga. And then we've opened that up with some trenches, unearthed some quartz veins running for about 300 metres open along that strike. And that's when we've sampled that vein, it's running at anywhere between 10 and 20 grams per tonne gold. It's quite a wide vein in the scheme of what we've seen, and that really encourages us to take it to the next level, which is to do some drilling.
So Grenadier is a vein or a series of veins. How long is the length, the strike length that you've outlined it?
Yeah, so at the moment, the contact's been exposed for about 300 metres.
Right, and it's still open along strike?
To the north, it's definitely open. There's soil anomalies on the other side of the creek we haven't even gone and had a look at, which go for another 300 metres at least.
So you got this in the soil sampling. You then did the most basic thing one can do in gold exploration. After that, you've gone and dug trenches.
That's correct, yeah.
Just as the name suggests. Now, in getting those trenches, you've taken a bulk sample, i.e. you've got a tractor in there and you've dug up a chunk of rock.
That's right.
Why did you do that at such an early stage?
Well, look, when we intersected this vein, because it was the widest we'd seen, I said to the team on site, look, let's just turn that machine around and dig along the vein and see what it looks like over a distance of about 10 to 15 metres. We did that, and basically, the vein's sitting at about 0.7 of a metre wide. So with the machine there and the permission of the mines department, we grabbed a bulk sample, which will allow us basically to do some test work on that to see how it processes, and also it gives us more confidence at a very rudimentary level, but more confidence as to the grade of this vein. But obviously, the next thing to do is go and, apart from the metallurgical test work, is to go and drill it.
So as we sit here today recording this episode of the Whole Truth podcast, Neil, You're waiting for the assays on that bulk sample.
Yeah, look, we've in the last since we collected it, we've taken half a dozen samples, about 4 to 6 kilos each, sent those off to the labs for what we call cider tests. So we'll be doing fire assays and also some leach well tests on those. So they should be available in the next few days, and we'll report those to the market ahead of a broader program where we'll take a few hundred kilos of the material and send it off to go through a more detailed process.
So if you were to get strong assays from this bulk sample,
yep.
What's the importance of that?
Well, first of all, the grade of the mineralisation, we want to confirm that. But importantly, we want to confirm that we can process this using basic cyanide leaching type
so to provide basic metallurgical information.
Yeah, basically. I mean, there's, quite often there's deposits which are refractory in nature. We want to confirm that we're not refractory. The TRFalga prospect, where we did some earlier test work 18 months ago, we got 94.5% gold recovery. So we're pretty confident of Grenadier being as good as that. But yeah,
there's a proof of concept factor right in here though too, isn't there, Neil? If the bulk sample comes in with strong assays, it shows that the soil sampling results, which are obviously very promising that you've got across the top, are supported by strong assays from the harder rock below that. Which then obviously in turn leads you to the view that there could be strong underlying mineralisation at depth.
That's right. And I mean, our soil sampling programs covered pretty much the whole of the Golden Ridge intrusion in the last 12 months. So we've got other areas which have, turned up as hotspots. So, if it works at Grenadier, it'll work in these other places. So we've got a lot of other targets to follow up later on.
Now, of course, you've got to put as they say, the lie detector into it, the drill rig. So what's the thinking there, the timing? You obviously will have the assays from the sample to help you. Is there a timetable for drilling?
So, yes. Well, we're basically planning to get a rig over onto Grenadier in the next few weeks. And then...
so you're not mucking around. You've obviously got a fair degree of confidence about what's below, or at least a high degree of curiosity, one might say.
Absolutely. Look, because as I said, the strength of the anomaly there and the length of it, it's over 1 kilometre along the granite contact, which is the prospective horizon. So, let's put some holes in.
What sort of depth is that, are we talking, do you think?
Look, we'll be putting holes 50 to 100 metres below surface, aiming to intersect the projections of the vein.
So you are right on the cusp of seeing whether this Grenadier mineralisation extends at depth and whether you've got a genuine high-grade gold discovery on your hands.
Well, look, when you talk about where else we've drilled down to 500 metres at TRFalga and we've hit mineralisation there, we can assume very quickly with not a lot of drilling at Grenadier an exploration target, and basically that's what we want to take it to in the first phase pretty quickly this year.
So let's put this in context for people, because you've mentioned TRFalga a couple of times.
Yep.
So TRFalga is another prospect, or in this case a deposit, because you've worked that up, of the wider Golden Ridge project.
That's right, yep.
So how does this jigsaw fit together?
Well, as I said, the granite intrusion has got a number of targets around a 9 kilometre horizon, which is growing. And Grenadier's at the western end. It's about 6 k's away from TRFalga, which is on the eastern side. And so, basically along that contact, we've got mineralisation showing up. Brilliant is another deposit which is in between the two. So we're very confident that we're going to find a lot more gold along that contact. And so we're just basically building the picture, building that exploration target as we go forward from where it is.
And you've got an exploration target of, say, around about 500,000 ounces at TRFalga.
Yep.
So the idea is you're drilling there now, and the idea is to work that into a maiden resource.
So we're doing some drilling to infill and extensional drilling at TRFalga to bring some of that into an inferred resource. That 500,000 ounces includes a couple of other areas, including Brilliant, but basically we want to add Grenadier to the exploration target and anything else which can turn up in the next 6 months from drilling, such as...
the overall strategy being what they like to call it in this industry, a hub and spoke model, a central production hub that would feed from all these close by sources.
That's right. I mean, if you look at the other mines in Tasmania, like Henty Gold Mine, the ore body there runs for several kilometres. So we've got very similar sort of pervasive mineralisation along that contact, and with Grenadier 6 k's away, that sort of from Trafalgar, that opens up a whole zone of opportunity for us.
Now, some of the people who have been getting onto this stock in the last couple of weeks and starting to give it a little nudge up are suggesting there's parallels between the wider project and a very now well-known discovery by Southern Cross goldfields in Victoria. Now, Southern Cross is now worth in the order of $1.5 billion, I think.
Yep.
So for comparing a $12 million explorer like Flynn to Southern Cross might seem slightly ambitious, but what are the parallels that are being drawn there?
Well, obviously, the northeast part of Tasmania is known to be an extension of the Lachlan Origin, which is basically the Victorian goldfields are all hosted within that, and really they've demonstrated that these high-grade gold systems extend at depth. They've done a lot of drilling down to 1,000 metres and what have you. In comparison, we've done about 90%. They've done 90% more drilling than we have. 9 times more drilling than we have. And so we're very much at the very first sort of step on the ladder compared to them. Our drilling has been, pretty shallow to date. We're finding gold at surface, and obviously at Grenadier we can stand on it. So the whole thematic around Victoria was an underexplored area for a whole lot of time until Fosterville reinvigorated exploration there. Northeast Tasmania is very much the same thing. It's been sitting there for 100 years. Not a lot of exploration activity's been going on. Beaconsfield was the last real active gold mine in the area, and that closed 12, 14 years ago. So the opportunity for us to look at an area which has not been touched since the last mine in that area closed in 1926. So it's a great opportunity for us, and we'll be systematically testing not only the Golden Ridge areas, but some of these other areas which we've got in our portfolio.
So is it oversimplifying and able to say that the host rock, in the case of Southern Cross, that's underpinning this $1.5 billion market cap and this fantastic discovery, that host rock extends under Bass Strait into Tasmania? That's
right, yeah.
It's that simple?
They're the same rocks, basically. If you stand on the north shore of northeast Tasmania, you'll see the same sort of rocks as you'll see at Wilson's Promontory. So,
and that's a distance of what as a crow flies?
Oh, a couple hundred k's.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So it's really a question of saying yes, it's the same host rock. The question is it mineralised in the same way?
Yep. Simple as that.
Okay. So what happens next? You're preparing to drill at Grenadier. You Correct. Are drilling at Trafalgar?
That's right. Yep. We've looking at getting a second rig into the fray as soon as we can. So we're talking to drillers at the moment about that. The aim is to try and get drilling happening at Grenadier in the next few weeks. We'll continue drilling at Trafalgar. We've got some other areas within the company's portfolio we also intend to drill in the next 6 months, so at Golden Ridge and elsewhere. So it's a very exciting time for our investors, and we're looking forward to reporting some successful results.
Now, corporately, because it's worth having a look here, some of those who have been getting their hands on the stock have noted in recent weeks that it's very tight.
Yep.
There's not much around. Why is it so hard to get stock?
Well, our major shareholder holds 35% of the company and has been buying of late, so that's a big vote of confidence. I've had meetings with the top 20 in the last few days, a few of those people, and they're very encouraged with what they're hearing and have been buying as well. So it is very tightly held.
Now, one of your directors is John Ford.
Yes.
Very well-known fund manager, very good track record in the resources space.
Correct.
Do you think people are following him into the stock?
Oh, look, undoubtedly, when I talk to investors, they look at our board and see he's on it, and are quite surprised in a lot of cases. So, and that's in a favourable way, of course. He's very good. He's got his finger on the pulse as far as the market's concerned. So it's really good to be able to tap into that sort of knowledge base. And look, we had a board meeting on site in May. John came down, obviously, as part of that. And he was really surprised and impressed with what we saw at Grenadier in particular, as well as what's going on with the broader drilling program. So yeah, look, it's great to have someone of his reputation on the board.
So obviously the stock and the company is right at a critical juncture here. I mean, as I said, $12 million market cap, about to drill what looks like it could be something quite substantial. I mean, you're after all that hard work, a lot of work below the waterline here, you could be on the cusp of greatness, as they say. And at $12 million, the leverage is obviously huge.
Well, that's right. I mean, you look at other gold stocks at the moment who are, their valuations are 100 million quite easily. And you look at those and say, well, will we get there with some good results coming through in the next phase? And obviously the market will judge us as it will. But we're very confident that since the company listed 4 years ago, we've really advanced everything significantly, and really impressed with where we're sort of sitting right now. It's
great. Well, obviously, as I said earlier, Neil, at the time we've made this episode, you're waiting on those assays.
Yep.
Perhaps as this episode is set free, those assays might be landing. So listeners might want to keep a good eye on the ASX platform over the next few days, and hopefully this little chat gives them some background and context to what they'll see on the platform. Thanks very much for your time.
Yep, no worries, Paul. Thank you.
You've been listening to The Whole Truth, a Resources Rising Stars podcast, produced by Resource Media, hosted by Paul Armstrong for Reed Corporate. Please note that Reed Corporate does not provide investment advice, and investors should seek personalised advice before making any investment decisions.